Okay, guys, the end of the sidewalk talk, and it's sidewalk closed. Peace out.
I'm so touched, guys. This is so sweet. Oh my gosh.
You know, branding and stuff like that. Or like some people, you could from the get-go just have like a blank slate of socials and know exactly what you need to do with the music and the photos and the videos and stuff like that. So we kind of just were like throwing stuff at the wall until something kind of just like hit. And then stuff kind of just hit.
Yeah.
And that's when he met AOBs. Which, guys, that is also Lauren's boyfriend. And I manage him.
Yeah.
You have to be just a jack of all trades, and you kind of can't really decide at first, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. Like, I would even post on, like, people's social media or deal with, like, photographers and videographers reaching out. Like, Lauren, she has helped us so much with photos and videos content.
Hello, this is Lauren Engel of Sidewalk Talk. I'm here with my really good friend, Brett Blackman.
Hey guys, what's up? Don't walk into that pole. She didn't, she almost did.
Yeah, I actually almost did. So we met like, okay, it's more than 3 years now.
I think it was like 5 years ago.
It is now?
Okay, so I remember this story.
There were like 2 angles I know.
Okay, there's 2. So what was that guy's name?
Panda.
Right, no, but that other guy, the Nikki something, he was like that model that...
Oh, Nikki Otav.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
So I think I like saw a
I
photo
remember
of that guy because I was living in New York at the time, interning at Webster Hall, and you were like in a photo or did something with him.
Yeah.
And then I just hit you up randomly,
Yeah.
and then you were like, I guess, in Hong Kong at the time,
Yeah.
right? Maybe I'm just gonna interview you. Just haha. But basically, I was blogging at this place, Daily Beat, and you randomly were working with the guy,
Yeah.
Chris Lavinio,
Yeah.
for that guy, Commanda Panda.
Yeah.
And then from there, friendship.
And then, yeah, wow. We both kind of
Yeah.
come a long way, I feel
So
like.
that was
And
what?
that's how I met all the Moving Castle and
Right.
AO Beats and like
So that was
Jywolf,
my
everyone.
junior year of college. So that was 6 years ago, actually. I've known you, I think, 6 years.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Damn.
I've
Wow.
known you, I think,
Like I wasn't even like doing anything music related before I met you.
right. No,
like
you...
Commanda Pen was one of the first like music kind of thing because there's nothing in Hong Kong.
Right.
And then you showed me like this whole other side, and then we were hanging out like in New York with all these pictures. Oh yeah, I'll put in some pictures here.
Was
I
the
just
first
remembered.
time I met you, this is funny because it's really like me interviewing it's like, was the first time I met you with Andrew and Jywolf at that Skrillex show? Were you at that show?
I didn't
then?
go to Skrillex
I'm
show,
just
but
kidding, never mind.
But I remember the first time I met you was with Brian Farber, and we were having pizza. It was you and
Oh, was
who?
it at the Slake show for Manila Kill's birthday party?
It might have
Yeah, I
been.
know, that was his
Yeah.
for his birthday. Cool.
You were born in
I was-
Pennsylvania?
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And were your parents born there as well? Or?
No, my mom was born in Boston and then moved to New York when she was like 7. And I mean, she basically was always interested in music.
Yeah.
So my mom's went to like Woodstock and like had jobs like working at Fillmore East.
Mm-hmm.
So growing up, I've always had like this affinity for music, like the Rolling Stones, the Monkees, the Beatles, Jimi Hendrix, like all that good stuff,
Yeah.
you know? Actually, my first show ever was the Monkees in
Oh,
in
yeah.
Philadelphia at like this stadium kind of
Yeah.
thing when I was like probably like less than 10. That's like
Oh,
one of
wow.
my blurry memories
Yeah.
of that. But so my mom actually is an audiologist, so like hearing aids in the ear monitors, earplugs and all that. So she's over the years had crazy artists, literally crazy and figuratively crazy, come in and get like fitted. So I've met a bunch of artists, and I've always just really, you know, been drawn to music. And I guess my earliest memory of kind of really getting into music was, you know, MySpace days. So I'm like 13, 14, and the whole emo scene stuff was it's like Warped Tour and all that. So like I loved like Fall Out Boy, Taking Back Sunday, Brand New, Green Day.
Did you dress like that as well?
There's probably pictures somewhere on the internet on my MySpace that I don't think is around anymore, so don't look. But let's not get hit by cars as we walk around.
It's actually such a slow day.
I know.
Really
it's
nice.
so muggy, by the way, guys, and overcast. If you could see, this tree actually looks like it may come to life and, like, attack us. Like, I don't even fucking know. Sorry, we'll edit the cursing out. But the first concert that I really remember that like had a pivotal time in my life was probably, I think it was the 7th or 8th grade, and it was Gym Class Heroes and Fall Out Boy.
Oh my God.
At some stadium thing in Philadelphia. And I just remember it was like Gym Class Heroes, like that Cookie Jar song, like put your hand in the, it was like really big at the time, and they brought out like Tyga, because Tyga was like brothers or cousins, sorry if I don't have the details right, with the head guy from the one band that I'm blanking again, I just said it, Gym Class Heroes. And they like had Cupid's chokehold. Like, okay guys, like people used to have really great music videos when there were budgets, and now they just don't anymore, because whatever the reason, but like, you know, MTV TRL and like stuff like that, and just music videos before like YouTube really like took over for all this stuff. I grew up and I went to this high school, or this school, St. Peter's, like when I was younger, and I actually did boys choir.
Really?
And I did like handbells and random stuff. So I used to have a voice. Maybe I'll be a singer one day again, guys.
Why did you stop singing?
Because I switched schools, and so I switched to this school called Masterman, which I'm going to do some shout outs right now, because 2 people I'm going to shout out from Masterman. This girl, China Rogers, who she is signed to Honeymoon Records. She's a dope rapper. And then my other friend, Noah Barrison, aka Noah Breakfast, he was in Chitty Bang. And basically, my high school's like 150 people total. Like total, not even like per grade. So like a lot of the kids that I went to high school with went to like local places like Temple, Drexel, Penn, and all that. And there's like really good music programs at a lot of these places, as well as just like good academics around there.
How do you describe yourself back then growing up?
Okay. Really introverted. I would stay in a lot. I didn't.
Really?
Yeah, like I went to some of these shows, but like I've always just been like a computer nerd. Look at the shirt. I just felt like wearing it today. But
Wait, computer nerd as in were you actually coding, or do you just love the internet?
I just love the internet. Like always just on the internet, just like searching for music and just playing games, and just like I was very, very antisocial.
So you were doing this alone, or did you have like some people that you would like share stuff that you found on the internet with?
Well, okay, so if you look, so like we don't have like Facebook or like certain things you could share stuff with at the time. So you would share music on like MySpace or like Tumblr, or just you would have your like away messages on AOL.
Oh,
and for some people who have no idea what AOL is, well, that's how people used to talk on the internet. So RIP AOL, it died this year, I think. I've not used mine in a very long time. I did, however, like while I was antisocial, I played tennis from when I was like 5 years old and I even played in college. So like I was definitely really active in sports. But didn't deal with my school. So I guess the fun fact here of why I was antisocial is I used to play this card game called Magic the
Yes!
Gathering.
Oh my god! And there's still YouTube videos.
Don't look them up. Just kidding. So I was actually a professional in this game called Magic the Gathering, and I traveled all around the world playing it, and I was lucky enough to go to like Japan, France, the Netherlands, and then a bunch of places, and I became really friendly with people around the world that I met at these tournaments. And why I didn't really talk to my friends in school that much is because it's kind of this. It really taught me strategy and like proper communication. And I was the type of person that really brought people together that I thought were like good at what they did. So like it's literally what I do now, where I've just, find people that are really passionate and good at their craft and kind of like bring them together. If it's like a singer with a producer, a photographer, videographer with someone else who needs that, etc., etc. It's been pretty cool just understanding what I've learned in high school, college, and playing that game, and from tennis. Like, I learned team building skills and just like how to get people excited about things, So
But actually, with that game itself, like, how did it work? Were you part of a team? Like,
so,
was
right.
it like a national
thing? So basically, we had this team called OSIP Drives Me to School, which was like me and like 20 other kids. Like literally, we were like 16 to 18 or like something like that.
How did you guys form? Like, was it like people in your school, and then you realized you're like
no,
really
it wasn't
then,
school.
Like...
It was like on the internet. So there's this thing called Magic Online, and you would just like go on and kind of just like play. Like I guess for everyone else, it would be like a World of Warcraft or any kind of like game where you can log on and see other people on it. So basically, they're just like tournaments, and you help with strategy and all that.
How did you realize that you're at the international level? Were you just like beating everyone? You're like, wow.
I got at the international level because I like would travel for tournaments like almost every weekend and play during the week.
Were they like requesting you, or like how?
It's not like requesting. It's not like how an artist or something like that goes. Like, so there's basically like a point system where there's like different tiers of events where like there's like state level, national level, worldwide level, and there are these things like Grand Prix that would be like national, and then there's like Pro Tours, which would be international, but like only like a top amount of people could play, So I was like, played the World Championships. Like, I just only got to do it once, but honestly, once I got to college, I kind of knew I had to like chill and like focus on school and play tennis.
What did your mom think about the whole thing?
She loved it.
Yeah.
Because it let me travel, it let me meet
people.
Wait,
so you were like winning all the money for this, or how did it work?
Won all the money. So basically there's this thing called the JSS, the Junior Super Series. So when I was like 13 to 15 or 16, I would be playing, and they like had scholarship programs. So I'd be winning like tens of thousands of dollars for my college. And then they basically started another one called the MSS, which was like the mature, I don't remember the name exactly, but like they bumped it to 18 because they basically wanted under 18, but like still to get scholarship money. But then they ended the program, and they made so many parents like sad and kids sad.
Wow.
I mean, it's a lot of money.
Who funds it?
So Wizards of the Coast, and they're owned by Hasbro, who owns like a ton of games.
So it's kind of like, in a way, a promotion for Hasbro, because these games are
totally. So it's like, so the funny thing is, the guy Richard Garfield was he went to Penn in Philadelphia. So like I kind of heard stories about this guy, and like he was like a legend. Like he basically based the game. I love how this is like 30 minutes of just magic. Anyway,
everyone's learning something new today, so here you go.
But he based the game on Dungeons and Dragons.
So what were your like favorite subjects in high school? Like,
damn, it's like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, what did I like?
Some people it's like 20 that have introduced.
I know. I really liked English class. I really liked reading and just like dissecting the books and the stories and the character development. I really liked psychology class. I hated math. I like there were certain parts of it I liked, but like you get to a point where you're just like, why am I ever learning this? You realize once you get out of school, guys, if you're in high school, like watching it, you're never going to use any of that stuff.
And I use it every day.
She may use it, actually. The Excel spreadsheets, real. I really liked art class. I liked the history of art. I really liked history. Like, I just like knowing about the past.
Yeah.
And for me, with music now, I think it's really important to know all of your idols and people that you look up to's history and how they got to where they are and like the stepping stones, etc. And for me, I think there's like the Blueprint series on Complex that's
so
really good.
That's my favorite.
There is And the Writer Is on iTunes.
Also so good.
Then Secret Genius, Spotify, and then there's a ton of other things that are like really good. I went to Goucher College in Baltimore, like Towson, Baltimore, and I just studied like international business and international communications. So I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I like knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur of some sort. And so the coolest part about my school, they forced us to study abroad. So this is where we get to the good part, guys. It was my junior year of college, and I've been taking like all these basic business classes, like microeconomics, macroeconomics, like what have you, and like communications, like PR, and just whatever general education classes. But then I get to London to study abroad at Westminster University. So the cool part about my school, guys, was at the time, I guess 8 years ago, when I first started, or 9 years ago, college, we were the only school to require in America to study abroad.
Oh, wow.
So we were the only school. So that was like the coolest part to me. So I decided to go to London. I had some friends there. And I get to the campus, and it's like the second day of school, and I just hear blaring electronic music, and I'm like, what the heck is...
Wait, what year was this?
So this is 2011, 2012.
And you never heard electronic music
I
before?
knew what it was, but I wasn't, like, going out of my way for it, you know? Like, we knew, like, who Tiesto was, who Skrillex was, David Guetta, and all that. They were playing, like, Eric Prydz or something. They were playing something. And I just go to my kitchen, and there are these two kids, Carlos and Martin. And they were two students from an international school in the Philippines. And I was just like, hey guys, what's up? Like, how do we be friends? Like, did we just become best friends? Like, I want to go to, like, Ministry of Sound and Fabric and EXO and, like, Coco and, like I was researching all the clubs at the time and just, like, at the time, Rusko and Caspa and, like, all of that kind of music, and look them up if you've not, and, like, Jack Beats were, like, really big, and I, like, looked at all the music that was coming out, or shows, rather, and there was, like, this huge Eric Prydz show, and he basically kicked off his thing called Epic. So it's, like, the most extravagant show that I probably went to at the time. So basically that night, I met this kid, Sandro.
Yeah.
And this kid, Sandro, knew Manila Killa.
Yeah.
And he was like, we befriended one another, and one thing led to another. He kind of introed me to Manila, and that's, once I got back to America, that kind of happened. And he, at the time, Sandro, was blogging for this Daily Beat.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, I would love to, like, do that too. Like, I would love to like blog. Like, I share music on Tumblr all the time. And note at the time, Spotify was not out. Apple Music wasn't out, and SoundCloud was like the thing to do, and blogs were just like still just popping, and like people would like have like bootlegs and like just so much stuff online. And like some of my favorite things at the time, you know, this song is sick. Dancing Astronaut, Ear Milk, Indie Shuffle. Though it's funny to like deal with the people that I listened to before and like now know the people that like run those blogs.
That's crazy.
So basically I just started blogging, and he told me, oh, by the way, Manila Killa lives in Virginia. And so for geography, guys, Virginia and Baltimore, very close.
Yeah.
So I ended up meeting Manila, and he was at
What year was this?
2012.
Okay.
So I met Manila, and we just like befriended one another right away.
Where was his career at that point?
So basically nowhere. He was making
mashups? Was this
basically,
before
guys, I manage Manila Killa now, so that's why we're talking about that.
Yeah.
So at the time, he was a freshman in college, I believe, and he was just putting out like bootlegs and remixes and mashups on SoundCloud and YouTube. So he was kind of like not doing anything at the time, but like he was really good. Like we just, I just knew he was really good and passionate, and when you listen to his music, like people would just know, like, damn, this is really good. But he was still just in school, focusing on school, and like I feel like kids now almost have, in a way, too much of an advantage if you get a proper manager, like know things with Spotify or Apple, because like people's careers can go off so much quicker now. But it's like I don't think people put in as much hard work, or like there's a lot of ways now to like cheat the system.
How did you figure out like even how to manage from the onset?
So at the time, I was like the day-to-day for Manila, and then I was kind of like shadowing people and like learning what PR was.
Shadowing who? Or how did you even like get to the spot to shadow? I think a lot of people watching this want to know. Like, how.
Totally. So at the time, I was working at like Webster Hall.
Yeah.
And I got to meet all these like bloggers and managers and publicists on the job, and kind of just like I was doing like an artist liaison type of thing. So I just befriended a ton of people and artists. So it's like I kind of would ask tons of questions, you know, and just like learn like as much as I could. I honestly had no freaking idea what I was doing at first. I still may not have any idea. I may have an idea. But basically, I just kept asking questions, and I was just winging it. Like, I was totally just winging it at first. Because there was no one who taught me. Like I didn't have a mentor.
How did you even have the confidence kind of just to do it? Like, were you ever like, wow, like, maybe Manila should find someone who's been in the industry for a few years? So
the cool part about that is I think we were on the same page of, like, we're in this together to learn together. There wasn't any expectations on either of us, because I didn't really know if I was going to be a manager. He didn't really know if he was going to be an artist. We didn't understand, like, the full idea of, like, the trajectory of the project, or like the rollout, or what needed to be done for, like, you know, branding and stuff like that. Or like some people, you could from the get-go just have like a blank slate of socials and know exactly what you need to do with the music and the photos and the videos and stuff like that. So we kind of just were like throwing stuff at the wall until something kind of just like hit. And then stuff kind of just hit.
Yeah. Do you remember the first kind of big break that you guys worked on together?
Yeah, so I think it was the summer of 2015. Or, sorry. The summer of 2013. And that's when he met AOBs. Which, guys, that is also Lauren's boyfriend. And I manage him. Yeah. So, they put out a 2-track EP. And it was sick. Like, it was so good. And when they put that out that summer, that was, like, the first time, like, people kind of were just giving attention to both of them. And then just the real breakout, I think, for at least Manila at the time was he did a remix competition for Flume, and he won. It was for that song called Sleepless, if you remember. So that was 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
But a lot of blogs kept picking up on it, and like
were you already friends with these bloggers?
Yeah, I was friends with bloggers, and like I would be going to these festivals, and like I would have media passes, and I would like befriend everybody.
Yeah.
And so like the whole blogging thing for me was like a means to an end at the time, or like whatever the term is.
Oh yeah, and also one thing that I want to ask you, like, how did you even go from this introvert person? Like, I'm so surprised that you're introvert to like you're literally the most active person I know. Like, by
I think
far.
it's like confidence. Yeah. I was not confident.
So how did you even get confident? Like,
okay,
over time?
Here's the thing. So I was very confident in like my magic world, and like because I knew what the heck I was doing, but like I don't think I was confident with like other people as much. Because, like, I just didn't have, like, the proper social skills. Like, I just had to develop social skills. So if you're awkward and whatnot, you still have time. I'm still awkward, but, like, you kind of just, like, grow into your skin and feel more comfortable with yourself. And then I just, like, became more comfortable with who I am and, like, appreciate who I am and realizing people appreciated who I was. But I think, like, in high school, I was, like, that awkward duckling in school where, like, everyone's like, that kid's never here, like, he plays tennis, like, blah, 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 whatever. But then college was, like, so my college goucher was, like, 4 weird kids. Like, no offense to anybody who from goucher season, but, like, we were all weird. Like, we were, like, weird and cool, and it's, like, we all got along. We were, like, all the kids that were, like, we were just like, okay, like, we band together, guys. The weird kids band together. I'm still weird. I'm pretty sure all of the music guys we deal with are all introverted and, like, outcasts. Yeah. Low key, though, I think everyone in the music industry, for the most part, has been an outcast. And, like, people don't understand us. And, like, we've used our art or connecting people or something like that to kind of, like, come together and share how we feel to the world.
So what happened after you graduated college?
Wait, guys, look, my bed. I'm kidding.
So gross.
So my family, as I said, are audiologists, and I just started working with them, and I just did like marketing and digital stuff, and I just did that like kind of part-time, and my mom basically gave me like an ultimatum in a way where like, okay, Brett, you can work with me, and you basically have a year to figure out like what you're really doing in a way. So like basically, so that summer, once I like started working with her again, that's when I started managing Manila.
Yeah.
And AOBs. We're vlogging, this guy, shout out this guy. So I was like working with my family on and off, and I was like, basically she told me, okay, Brett, most people, you know, in your position would have a full-time job, and like a lot of people like have like go to work with their family, but she told me, let's treat this like your master's or something like that, or like your gap year, that you're so figuring stuff out. And so basically I would work with my family like pretty part-time, and then like go up to New York a lot still to like Webster Hall or like festivals and like cover them, and just I was still just like learning, you know?
Yeah.
But I was still making enough, and like I was living at home, so it's like all my money just kind of like went to like traveling and life stuff. But that's kind of what I was doing like right after college. And then it was basically when it all kind of just changed for me. I was working at Hotel Garuda at this point, which, guys, if it's Manila Killa and Asim Candleweather.
Before that, how did Hotel Garuda come about?
Okay, so guys, so during my blogging days, Asim hit me up and he's like, hey, I live in California, in LA, going to Occidental College, and I'm a photographer. And I'm like, oh, cool, like, we could use a photographer to cover our stuff in LA, right? Wow. And so some of the first shows I remember he covered were, like, a Liz Y2K and Trippy Turtle show, and there was, like, this Madion Boys Noise, like, LED event in San Diego, or I don't remember, but, like, he was good at photography.
Wow.
And then him and Manila Killa hit me up. I was, like, just got off Holy Ship.
What year was this?
2014. Yeah, it was 2014. By the way, Holy Ship, we actually just, both Hotel Garuda and Manila Killa played Holy Ship, and we had our own Moving Castle stage, and I'll explain Moving Castle.
And I recapped everything for you guys, 3 videos.
She recapped it. We sent her footage from Steven, Kimmy, and myself. She was totally there in spirit, guys. But going back to that, Asim and Chris sent me this song, and basically it got picked up by, like, This Song Is Sick, my friend Nick Garino. And literally from that get-go, they just, like, randomly gave me names. They're like, what am I going to be called for Asim? He's like, Candleweather. I'm like, bro, like, how'd you get that name? And he still doesn't know.
Oh my God.
And then they're like, we're going to call it Hotel Garuda for the partnership. Because they wanted to, like, make house music. And they were just, like, into it. That's how we feel. Really sad that it's...
I wonder if my angles ever, like, pick up... Okay, I think I picked that up.
Angles. Lauren Engel. Asim and Chris met in school when they were both living in Indonesia, guys.
Yeah.
And they basically rekindled their friendship years later, and I basically brought them back together. Yeah, like, so that's kind of how Garuda kind of happened, and then just, like, they kept putting out music, and then we got picked up by Paradigm Agency, which is, like, has some of the craziest agents ever and artists. But that's Garuda.
Yeah.
So that timeline's like 2014.
Yeah. And then you just keep, like, picking up these artists, I guess. Was there ever a point where, like, okay, this is, like, good? I mean, you just picked up Sakima, right?
Yeah. Well, I think at the time, so, like, let's understand here, guys, that at the time I'm, like, learning about all these things and who I am, where my place is in the music industry and, like, the internet society, maybe you say. And this is, like, just when SoundCloud was, like, popping off, and, like, basically all of our friends, like the Louis the Childs, the Jai Wolfs, the Bearsons, the Jerry Folks, the AO Beats, and, like, all of us, like, befriended one another. And so we kind of, at the time, were, like, the next wave of artists that no one fully understood, like, what was kind of happening yet, but everybody also knew something was going to happen. There wasn't, like, any master plan to, like, grow everyone from the start, saying, like, okay, guys, we're joining this record label with millions of dollars, and you're gonna go single and get on New Music Friday and, like, every Apple playlist, and then get in, like, Teen Vogue and, like, GQ and, like, Billboard or whatever. Like, at the time, we had no idea, like, what the heck was going to come out of any of this.
Actually, how did you realize you have managerial characteristics? I feel like a lot of your characteristics are also really good for PR.
So I do PR, too, for my artists.
But, like, why did you never consider, like, working for Atlantic doing PR or something?
Right. I guess, like, over time, I've also learned how to delegate. So I have certain people do things I don't think I'm strong at. But as a manager, you need to know how to do everything. You need to know, at least at first, how to do PR and share your artist's music with blogs or other artists. You need to know how to talk to Spotify or Apple to get your music placed there, you need to talk to a publisher or a record label to like get you in studio sessions or getting your music out there. You have to be just a jack of all trades, and you kind of can't really decide at first, I'm not doing this. Like, I would even post on like people's social media or deal with like photographers and videographers reaching out. Like Lauren, she has helped us so much with photos and videos content. Like, if you've seen Manila's first single that ever came out by himself was Lauren's photo on Billboard. So thank you, Lauren.
Oh.
That was a 2-year anniversary, by the way, last week for All That Slept.
I saw that post.
Manila Kill and Joni Fatora. Listen, guys. But I think you just have to kind of feel comfortable wanting to learn. Like, you shouldn't like ever feel, oh my god, this is such a drag. Like, you have those moments, but like it's also just really exciting to like learn all these things, like real tangible stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Real tangible stuff.
And then Moving Castle. So that happened,
right.
And then you kind of, what's your role in Moving Castle?
So I'm like the label manager, which means I make sure the label runs smoothly. So I'll talk to our business manager, our lawyer, and making sure like people get paid, that paperwork gets done. Like, I deal with social media, and like we have like interns who kind of help post. Shout out Brittany. And then we have people who like help put the music on these channels like Spotify and Apple and all that. Shout out Drew. He helps put like upload
really,
everything.
Shout out Drew.
Shout out Drew for real. And then I mean, there's just like all these like little things. So basically, as a manager, I'm good at managing other people to do their stuff. So like I delegate people to do things, but I make sure like it gets done, you know? Like, for example, we have this festival, I'm gonna plug this right quick, called Moving Castle World, and like it's just like getting the stage together and like getting the artists like on board. So one of the biggest things about Moving Castle's just been, you know, friendship and like just finding our friends on the internet via like SoundCloud or Twitter.
How did you decide to manage Sakima and Swims?
So basically, Ao Beats was living in London at the time, and he was going to Goldsmiths University getting his master's. I won't give too much info because if he wants to talk about it later. He met Sakima at school, and they basically just became friends. And so this was about a year and a half, 2 years ago.
But why did you decide to like actually take them on?
So I didn't for like over a year and a half. And then it was like, I guess like a year ago, give or take, it's probably like 6 months ago, I wasn't on the Sakima project, but Sakima and Ao made this side project called Swims in college and just made a ton of music together. And so my friend Hill, who does Ao Beats with me, does Swims with me, and I kind of just wasn't on the Swims project for a while. And then, like, I came on it, but, like, to be realistic right now, it's kind of just, like, on a hiatus as Sakima and Ao focus on their individual projects. But we're going to come back this year with Swim stuff. Don't you worry, guys.
Yeah.
As I, like, look down. Trust. Basically, I guess for Sakima, he's still in, like, the UK, and he's traveled to LA a few times, but this year he put out 2 EPs, and then he's working on a big project that we've not announced yet, but he's working on something cool, and he was basically just named, like, Billboard's top 10.
They're pushing him hard.
They're pushing.
That's awesome.
Shout out Billboard.
Yeah, really.
Pat Crowley, I think that's your name. Sorry if I butchered it. But he was just named like top 10 like pop stars of like 2018.
Yeah.
So that's kind of Sakima. I won't get into too much more, but he's working on really cool stuff.
Yeah. How do you think you've grown as a person since when you started?
I think I've always been like putting my artists first, like making sure they're taken care of. And I think this year, but the end of 2017, the beginning of 2018, I've learned to like do self-care, like reading a lot more, journaling a lot more, meditating, working out. I like just joined a gym. Like I just I'm like part of this like hot yoga thing.
are?
Bikram,
Okay.
dude, moves to LA once, guys.
Yeah,
But
like look at this juice thing.
shout out Whole Foods, sponsor me,
Also,
please.
Me too.
Anyway, what I've learned is if you can't take care of yourself, you can't take care of other people.
Yeah.
And the last like 5-6 months have really been about just self-improvement, mentally, spiritually, physically.
Yeah.
And I just feel better like every morning. Like I'll wake up and I'll like make my bed, I'll meditate. I won't touch like Twitter or anything until like I have my tea, I do a little workout, and then I journal. It's called like the 5-minute journal. So you basically like brain dump like everything that's on your mind, and it's basically there's like a system too where it's like what will make today great, what do you want to accomplish today, and then kind of like an affirmative thing where it's like I am, and it's like I am good at XYZ, or just look up what is his name? Tim Ferriss. Just Google Tim Ferriss and his routine, and that's basically, I've adopted him. Shout out Tim Ferriss. I swear I want to talk to you, man. Anyway, but like I've just seen dramatic or drastic changes, like
Yeah.
with how I feel and like how my artists go about their days and like how I treat everything.
Yeah.
Like I feel way more like organized and in tune with just
Yeah.
reality.
What would you say have been your biggest challenges?
My biggest challenges, I'm too nice, guys. I'm way too nice. I think
Hard
people
to say no.
So some of my challenges include people know me this isn't like a bad thing, but it's like because people know me from the internet and from helping people. Like I get asked for help all the time. Like people want help all the time, and I sometimes feel bad saying no, and I have to like limit that. Like there are people I know when they deserve it or not, but it's like it takes away from like my artists and my energy, and I've gotten better at it. But like learning to say no. 2018, learn how to say no. And then like another thing, my challenge is like by being nice is like I'm definitely persistent. However, some people like mistake being nice with like weakness, so they'll like do like say certain things or like not help me in a certain way where like I've helped them, and like maybe some people could just be not very nice. But I would also say another one of my challenges, like I have like ADD, and like I'm just like I get really excited easily about stuff, and you know, like I'll be brainstorming about a bunch of stuff, and then I'm like, shit, I gotta you know do these things. So like 2018, I'm gonna get a personal assistant to help make sure like the scheduling is done, like the flights are done, the social media is done, like just like little things that distract me from the day from doing like the more big picture stuff.
Yeah.
So like I'm a very big picture creative person.
Last question. What do you want to be remembered for?
It's a hard question, but I think about this. I think it's important. I really want to be remembered for being a person who brought people together and like helped make their dreams come true where like no one else really believed in them. And I feel like the last 3 years has really been about bringing people together. And I've seen people that I've just shared music or introed people together or photos or what have you, like making careers for themselves. I'm not fully saying it's like me, but it's evident that like it was a part of the effect. And it's like anytime people want to have a heart to heart about something and like I know they deserve it, I do. And it's just really touching to see people like fulfill their passion.
Yeah.
So that's what I want to be remembered for.
I love that. Thank you so much. I'm so glad we did this.
Wait, do I get to take it and you have to open this?
Okay.
Wait.
Oh my
Hey
God.
guys,
Wait,
this
you know
better
what?
not die. This better not die.
It says
Wait,
sidewalk talk.
open
and then I
it.
just realized it says sidewalk closed. It's
Guys,
really
wait,
sad.
sidewalk closed. She's gonna open it. I hope this doesn't die because apparently there was 2 minutes left.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
she's gonna open it. Show them the card. Okay, guys, read it out
Oh my
loud.
God, it's something so loud.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Okay. Okay, guys, you can read that.
Okay, just read
Oh,
it.
I love that. Okay.
Okay, guys,
My
now
arm is shaking.
now the interview starts now
Oh
with
my God, happy
Lauren.
belated birthday. It was my birthday.
It was her birthday.
I
so I got her a birthday card.
Disneyland. But
Okay,
you
guys,
don't understand Cantonese.
just like the end of this.
This is so sweet, guys.
Okay, guys, the end of the sidewalk talk, and it's sidewalk closed. Peace out.
I'm so touched, guys. This is so sweet. Oh my gosh.
No problem.